Hello guys, it's me Beata and thanks for tuning in today because we're gonna be discussing composite aspects, explain it. Composite chart, as some of you probably know, is very important part of astrology, of relationship astrology, and really cannot be avoided, right? If you want to read a chart of the couple properly, you still have to check composite chart. It's been said a couple of times that composite chart is a chart which really determines outcome of the relationship and sort of destiny of the relationship and very often the end of the relationship. I very much believe, or I'm strong believer that really composite aspects are, in my opinion, even more important than planets in composite houses, okay? But before we start, I would like to type something into the chat and then I will continue, okay? So please hold on. Okay. So I'm always struggling with these things, but hopefully um, it's gonna be fine. Okay, nice. Okay, guys, so I'm back. In case you have any questions, feel free to ask me live because in this live stream, I really have no like particular order or something specific I wanna talk about. However, when it comes to aspects, I will probably focus on harmonious aspects in this live stream, but in case you have some other questions related to composite, feel free to ask me pretty much anything, okay? So, why are aspects so important? When it comes to composite, I consider major aspects to be very important and very much felt. Difference between, let's say, composite chart or synastry chart is that in composite chart, aspects, either they are good or bad, are felt by both people equally, okay? And this is very interesting because composite chart itself is artificial chart and it is really chart of your relationship. So really fascinating thing about composite is that if you have any aspect, you both feel the effect, right? So really we don't have to like guess if it is a personal planet person or outer planet person who feels the effect, because you guys both feel the effect equally. Now, I personally use mainly major aspects in composite chart. That means it is of course trine, sextile, conjunction, square and opposition. In conjunction, I sometimes use because I find in conjunction relevant as well. Minor aspects I don't use. But there really have been a couple of questions related to minor aspects like sexy quadrant or quintile. So, you know, When we are reading chart, we still have to see big picture first. And in my opinion, big picture are major aspects, or planets in houses, but really minor aspects are not aspects that can be that powerful that will damage or save your relationship. Yes, if you want to break down composite chart or whatever chart you want to, it will give you more perception, it will give you more details, but in my opinion, minor aspects don't decide relationship, okay? So, but that's just me, it really depends on what works for you. Now, as I have told you, composite aspects are a very interesting part of relationship astrology and cannot be avoided in any reading. Now, good thing about composite aspects is that they work even if you don't know exact birth time of yours or your partner, okay? And this is really good, right? Because oftentimes we really struggle with these things because we need exact birth time. But composite aspects are, they are just working fine. This cannot be said about planets in composite houses. You really need exact birth times of two people, but when it comes to aspects, it's okay. That's why sometimes when I read charts like Synastry charts, or when I prepare relationship horoscope for my clients, I am often asked to do it without birth time, okay? Because sometimes we are only interested in someone and we don't know, obviously, his or her birth time. So what we can still reveal from composite chart are composite aspects. And maybe this will sound courageous, but I'm pretty sure that just composite aspects are enough when it comes to assessing outcome, or let's say destiny, or even the end, or sort of overall aura around the relationship. So really aspects are enough. Now, as I have told you, I will probably focus on some of harmonious aspects, but you can interrupt me anytime and ask me about aspects or whatever you are interested in, okay? If you like this type of chart, I have prepared for you Synastry and Composite course. It is really advanced course, and I am explaining their composite chart in more depth, okay? I am covering their houses of composite because these are read differently, okay? Watch out for this one. Houses in composite, they work differently in comparison to birth chart or Synastry houses overlay. And also in that course, I'm really covering all, let's say, very difficult and challenging aspects. So I will not go into that in this live stream, but you can check out my course. I will put a link down below, and there is really that detailed description of what I'm covering there. Now, we have first question, so I will take that one and then I will do my freestyle pretty much today. So, how would you interpret Jupiter conjunct the North Node 8th house, and Jupiter square Mars 11th house? Okay, so if you have in composite Jupiter conjunct North Node, where's Jupiter really? But if North Node is in the 8th house, well, in my opinion, this will be all about, let's say, some sort of spiritual development, or your, let's say, unique and mutual beliefs on life, okay? You can become more spiritual when you are together as a couple. And what is great about composite North Node is that this relationship serves both of you, okay? And this is really fantastic because, you know, when it comes to, let's say, searching if two people are compatible, we always look for familiarity, right? And this is what Jupiter gives us. I believe Jupiter is pretty much overlooked in Synastry or in Composite, but Jupiter is not only good luck, but Jupiter is that easiness and even openness, right? Because we are really open with each other. And now, you guys, when you have Jupiter conjunct North Node, you become open when it comes to your self-development, but 8th house is involved, so that means that you also are not afraid to dig deeper, right, into your own psychological baggage. And I have a flavor that this pretty much tells me that you can really heal your stuff because of that relationship. So definitely this relationship serves you, not only when it comes to your spiritual development, but really your healing. Okay, now Jupiter square Mars, 11th house. Well, if Mars is in the 11th house in composite chart, I'm wondering if there are any other challenging aspects of Mars. You know, we all know, or I don't know if you know, but 11th house is very important. I believe it's the most important house in composite chart, in the chart of the couple. And you know, Mars is of course very action-oriented planet, but this tells me my, you know, immediate feeling about this is that it sort of seems to me that you will be fighting in public. Okay, so pretty much public fights are common with this position, even though we might think that you know, it is Jupiter and Jupiter is benefic, but you know, squares in composite are really squares, right? When I read a Synastry chart and I see difficult Jupiter aspects, I don't think that they create as much drama as in composite chart. So what can eventually happen having Jupiter square Mars when Mars is being in the 11th house is that really there will be fights which are visible to other people, okay? So yeah, these sort of things. But it also, what is also important is that if there are any other challenging aspects to Mars, and also if Jupiter, or where's Jupiter really? Okay, okay, Jupiter is in the 8th house. Okay. Now, how do you figure out the ending of a relationship? Well, you know, when I am about to figure pretty much anything out when it comes to relationship, I always check transits on composite chart. Okay, it's really first thing, because you know, even though, as I have told you, composite chart is really artificial chart, but it is very important anyway. And in many cases, it is clearly seen that you know, this relationship has started at this time of year, or really at this time, because there are some let's say important transits on that composite chart planets, right? And this can be very well seen also when it comes to the end of the relationship. So these transits will be obviously difficult, but of course, when I see difficult transits on your composite chart, what I know for sure is that you are really going through some sort of crisis, right? But you know, in what I see constantly in my practice is that people are involved in relationships that are, you know, sometimes toxic, or these relationships don't serve them, and people are able really to break that bond only when it is unbearable, pretty much, you know, because when you are in codependent relationship, you really are walking away only if it is bad enough. Now, so first thing, transits to composite, and of course, I always check obviously what each of the persons is going through in their own birth chart and in their predictive horoscope. But what I cannot avoid is progress. Okay, are secondary progressions and transits to secondary progressions of each of the partners, or eventually how these secondary progress charts work with each other. So really it's complex, it is really not just one thing, but I always start with transits to composite. Okay. Oh, okay, someone asks, do you teach transits in your composite course? You know, I have advanced synastry and composite chart course, so I am pretty much covering relationship astrology there. I don't have, I believe I don't have. Well, actually, transits. If you mean transits to composite chart, I had there one that celebrity reading in that course, and I believe I was covering transits to their composite chart, but I am mainly focusing on birth chart identificators. If someone is even, you know, commitment type, and then I'm breaking it down into synastry, how to read synastry, and you can definitely check it out if it is appealing to you. I will put link below, and there's detailed description of it. Okay, now what I also wanted to tell you when it comes to aspects and mainly harmonious aspects are that any harmonious aspects in composite are not strong enough to really delete or you know, somehow diminish effect of hard aspects. Okay, because sometimes we are inclined to read you know, like synastry chart, that you have like very difficult aspect in synastry, like Saturn square Venus, but you also have like Neptune trine Venus, and we immediately believe that this Saturn square will be sort of deleted, or effect will be less felt. You know, this is not true. Okay, there still will be that effect in synastry or in composite chart, because what we have to really understand is that hard aspects are felt much more, and this is just true. Okay, that's why we are drawn into this more difficult or challenging, or potentially very, let's say, grow oriented relationship in the first place, because difficult aspects are very attractive at the beginning, but difficult aspects, composite aspects, but shall we say also synastry aspects, but pretty much composite is even more powerful, are those aspects why people are ending it, right? Because it really becomes sometimes that difficult that they really cannot cope. Now I would like to mention some harmonious aspects that I like very much to see in composite chart. You know, I will start with Saturn. Well, I don't know if you like Saturn, but as I am getting older, I believe that I understand Saturn more, because Saturn is a planet that will really give you what you want, but you have to work for it, right? And you you know, Saturn really lives on Earth as a planet, and we really only get if we are willing to put our effort into things. So this makes perfect sense for me. So if you have harmonious aspects, and I would also include conjunction in composite, to some of your axes like ascendant, descendant, IC or MC, this relationship immediately becomes binding for both of you. That means that you are really committed to work hard to make this work, right? And I know that this might sound not very romantic, but I believe that if you want to really be in a long-term commitment with whoever, you have to be willing, right? Put the effort into it, not only, you know, enjoy trips together, but you really have to be very alert and aware that this is also another work for you. But Saturn works greatly in composite and can really help you to feel more secured in a relationship, because you know, with Saturn contacts in composite, with easy contacts and with conjunction as well, there's that trust. There's that trust. You both trust this relationship, okay? And yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Now, another aspect I would like to mention is aspect between Sun and Moon in a composite chart. Mainly, of course, trine, sextile and conjunction, because this is great. You know, I personally perceive this aspect on more energetical level, because when we have a couple, these two are obviously interacting with each other. But what I sense that this aspect brings is that easiness, openness, and also acceptance. Now, roles in this relationship, if you have harmonious aspect between Sun and Moon, are great, because one of you plays that, you know, female, or one of you has really that female energy, and the other partner plays the masculine role. You know, even if roles are reversed and the woman is more masculine, but you have this harmonious aspect in composite chart, then it works greatly. You know, when you have Sun in harmonious aspect in composite chart, it is not something you discuss together, you know, that like, I don't know, I will be more receptive because I'm female and you will take a lead because you are male. But things, they come very naturally to you, and you are able to really get along together, okay? And with this aspect, there's also a lot of forgiveness on both sides. So it is also, of course, very appealing, right? Now, pay attention to Venus in composite chart, okay? Venus and Moon are two planets that I check in the first place when I read a composite chart, and for obvious reasons, right? Because Venus is planet of love, okay? So we really want to see harmonious aspects, or, you know, let's say mainly harmonious aspects to your Venus in composite. But real problem is if Venus is unaspected, okay? And I've seen this, and you know, what this makes is that people just are not into each other, okay? And you know, with composite, it is not felt from very beginning, but they will not feel. They can be obviously great friends, but if your Venus is not aspected in composite chart, you will suffer, because you will not feel loved by your partner, but you will not love him or her as well. That's why always pay attention to Venus. You know, when we have like Venus conjunct Sun, Moon, Mercury, and you know, these planets together, if they happen to be in one sign, or some of them are included with Venus, these personal planets, it is very interesting to see, and this is actually quite common to see. You have these personal planets interplay, I call it, and this also brings understanding, okay? And if Venus is included, we can bet that this is great because you care for each other, right? Because if you have like Venus and Moon in a composite chart, we can bet that you really deeply care about the other person to feel good with you, and you know, to feel loved and appreciated. It is always good, as I have told you at the beginning, to see some Saturn harmonious aspects, because they are very stable, right? They are that glue. And if you have like Saturn sextile or trine Venus in composite chart, of course, it may not be so much fun, but you can have fun with other aspects. If you have like, I don't know, Mars Uranus in harmonious aspect in composite, but what you really want to see is Saturn in harmonious aspect to Moon or Venus, or to those axes, because this will bring you not only that easiness, but that stabilization. And right, this is what is commitment about, because you can have like a bunch of Uranus, you know, not crazy, but very exciting aspects, because people or couples who have Uranus hard contacts in composite, it is very exciting experience for both of them, and they are very quickly into each other, but then they very quickly step into each other nerves. Okay guys, I will answer this question and I will then probably sign off, but if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me right now. How is Moon conjunct Neptune on the IC? Wow, this is really wonderful aspect if you have it in composite chart. Okay, if when people have this aspect, especially on the IC in composite, you know, this will not only bring you like a sort of unconditional love into relationship, but this is like real soulmate aspect. Okay, I'm not sure if I believe in soulmate so much, but if we are talking about people who are not only in love, but these people, they deeply care for each other. And what's great about IC is that you as a couple, we all obviously have IC with someone somewhere, but if you have these two very like transcendent planets, or really when we are talking about Neptune in conjunction to Moon on the IC, this is something like ethereal or otherworldly, but you know, it might feel perfect, and it really might be. Okay, so I know that Neptune aspects can be very delusional. I am very much aware of it, but if you have some other Saturn aspects, you can pretty much or very much enjoy this one. You know, I believe that this can be the most romantic experience for both of you in a relationship, because there's that, you know, there's that really part of unconditional love, because you really want to give that person whatever he wants to, and vice versa. Okay, so even if you don't expect him or her to give you anything, because if you have this beautiful aspect, you just give for free, and it's okay. but luckily this is composite, so it is always coming back to you. So I very much like this aspect, and if it happens to be on the IC, you know, it is even more stronger than if you would have it some in other areas of your chart, because it is really very striking, and it comes directly to your heart. Now, okay, Saturn opposite square Mars, tough. Okay. Oh, you know, Saturn in hard contact to Mars can be very tricky, right? Because, you know, I don't know if you know people who have Saturn hard contacts to Mars in their natal chart, but these people, they typically appear to be very calm, and you might even think that they are unable to sort of react, but if they are angry, it can be devastating, because with Saturn in hard contact to Mars, I believe that there's a lot of cruelty hidden, right? Because it is repressed with Saturn, but there will come a day when if you have this in composite, you will not only suffer, but you might fight really hard with your partner without, you know, any compassion or without even consequences, because if these two very tough and challenging planets are going onto each other, it can be really devastating for the couple. So yeah, this is in my opinion one of the most challenging aspects you can have in Synastry. But again, as everything with Saturn, especially hard contact, you will not be aware that this might happen with you at the beginning, but there will come a day, you know, when you feel like you are safe and secure, and there will be that outburst of repressed anger, and this can come from from both of you. Actually, thank you. What is on for your next live stream? You know, I'm not sure yet. Do you have any idea what my next live stream should be about? I don't know, but you know, I will probably still cover Synastry and Composite. Maybe I will pick something specific. People always like to talk about Venus and Pluto as aspects, so maybe I will make Composite about Venus, Pluto in Synastry and in Composite, because it is interesting. Composite stands through the houses. Okay, yeah, I will definitely think about it, because Sun in Composite represents our conscious part as us, right? As us as the couple. So it can be definitely very interesting, because, you know, there's really like a lot of themes, right? If we want to cover something, it will take a while, right? Okay, more info on axis, please. Like, what if North Node is conjunct IC? You know, guys, okay. I really like that you care about axis, and you really care about nodes. Okay. I believe that nodes in a Synastry or in Composite are very underrated, but I tell you something or some sort of my conclusion on nodes in Synastry. Every time someone is unhappy in a relationship, someone has difficult time, someone is really suffering, but for a good reason, what I see repeatedly in Synastry is that there's person who feels the effect, and he has like Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, or some of them in hard contact to North Node of that other person. And this can be even not dangerous, but very difficult, because really North Node is blocking your growth and you are suffering very much because you really cannot do whatever you want to do or what is your life purpose and mission. But really it is like you are trying to do something and North Node is really blocking you, and very same can be said about hard contacts of especially personal planets in composite chart. Okay, now okay, so another request, sun through houses and moon through houses sounds nice. Okay, so we can definitely, it's your choice. We can definitely continue with composite chart or composite moon next time. I am very open to your suggestions, you know that. So okay, so we have agreed on this. Now I'm gonna sign off. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. It was my pleasure to talking to you, and definitely see you next week. Bye bye.